God bless you. So, I'm in my New Jerusalem Bible because my King James, my normal King James, doesn't have this book, but my 1611 King James does. But I find it very difficult to read the old English spellings. So, some of you may know these books, some of you may not. But these are what we call the wisdom books. So, we're going to be focusing on that wisdom. So, if you do have a Bible with the older books, like a New Jerusalem or a 1611 King James, and please read along with me. If not, please listen and we'll go through what this is actually saying. And remember, always pray to God in Jesus' name, asking for guidance and understanding. Now, the book I'm going to be starting with is chapter 1 of a book, Ecclesiasticus. Now, Ecclesiasticus, there were Hebrew texts found between 190 and 180 BC. So we know this was found before Christ, just under 200 years before his coming. And let's look at what these specific verses say and what they are, and we'll go through them together. So, I will now begin. All wisdom comes from the Lord. She is with him forever. The sands of the sea, the drops of rain, the days of eternity, who can count them? The height of the sky, the breadth of the earth, the depths of the abyss, who can explore them? Wisdom was created before everything. Prudent understanding subsists from remotest ages. For whom has the root of wisdom ever been uncovered? Her resourceful ways, who knows them? One only is wise, terrible indeed, seated on his throne, the Lord. It was he who created, inspected, and weighed her up, and then poured her out on all his works, as much to each living creature as he chose, bestowing her on those who love him. The fear of the Lord is glory and pride, happiness and a crown of joyfulness. The fear of the Lord gladdens the heart, giving happiness, joy, and long life. For those who fear the Lord, all will end well. On their dying day they will be blessed. The basis of wisdom is to fear the Lord. She was created with the faithful in their mother's womb. She has made a home in the human race, an age-old foundation, and to their descendants will she faithfully cling. The fullness of wisdom is to fear the Lord. She intoxicates them with her fruits. She fills their entire house with treasures, and their storerooms with her produce. The crown of wisdom is to fear the Lord. She makes peace and health flourish. The Lord has seen and assessed her. He has showered down knowledge and intelligence. He has exalted the renown of those who possess her. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and her branches are long life. The rage of the wicked cannot put him in the right, for the weight of his rage is downfall. A patient person puts up with things until the right time comes, but his joy will break out in the end. Till the time comes, he keeps his thoughts to himself, and many a lip will affirm how wise he is. Wisdom treasuries contain the maxims of knowledge. The sinner, however, holds piety in abhorrence. If you desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord will bestow it on you. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction. And what pleases him is faithfulness and gentleness. Do not stand out against the fear of the Lord. Do not practice it with a double heart. Do not act a part in public. Keep watch over your lips. Do not grow too high and mighty, for fear you fall and cover yourself in disgrace. For the Lord would then reveal your secrets and overthrow you before the whole community, for not having practiced fear of the Lord, and for having a heart full of deceit. So this is chapter 1 of Ecclesiasticus. And as we see here, all the wisdom being bestowed is to those who love the Father. He says, it's given to those that seek him diligently, that fear of him, keeping his commands, and the wisdom will abound. Seek wisdom, seek understanding, seek a faithful heart, a loving heart. Understand that fear is when we know we do wrong, for we know there will be correction. So ask God for correction, for if we do wrong and know not of it, ask God to reveal it us that we can see it, for that wisdom and that discernment to know it, so we can turn the other way, always seeking God first and foremost. Build that relationship in God. Trust in him and all that happened on the cross with Jesus Christ. For as he died and shed his precious blood to save us from a sinful life, look at the Lord and how he teaches us. For the fear is the beginning of wisdom. For we should not be willy-nilly nor lukewarm. Let our hearts focus in the delights of God. Let him fill us with his joy and his love. When you find these things, seek them diligently and earnestly. Stay within his laws and his teachings. Stay humble and loving for one another, just as Jesus was humble and loving to every one of us. Even as he died on the cross, he prayed for those that had crucified him. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Those that persecute us and hate us, pray the same, for they know not what they do. But God is the completion of joy and love, understanding, and he will impart wisdom upon us as he chooses. Ask for it honestly and earnestly. Ask for understanding and wisdom, that you may follow him in a pleasing way, to grow in your journey with him by your side every step of the way. So this was chapter 1, and we will now read chapter 2. My child, if you aspire to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for an ordeal. Be sincere of heart, be steadfast, and do not be alarmed when disaster comes. Cling to him and do not leave him, so that you may be honored at the end of your days. Whatever happens to you, accept it. And in the uncertainties of your humble state, be patient, since gold is tested in the fire, and the chosen in the furnace of humiliation. Trust him and he will uphold you. Follow a straight path and hope in him. You who fear the Lord, wait for his mercy. Do not turn aside for fear you fall. You who fear the Lord, trust him, and you will not be robbed of your reward. You who fear the Lord, hope for those good gifts of his, everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see. Whoever trusted in the Lord and was put to shame, or whoever steadfastly fearing him was forsaken, or whoever called to him and was ignored. For the Lord is compassionate and merciful. He forgives sins and saves in the times of distress. Woe to faint hearts and listless hands, and to the sinner who treads two paths. Woe to the listless heart that has no faith, for such will have no protection. Woe to you who have lost the strength to endure. What will you do at the Lord's visitation? Those who fear the Lord do not disdain his words, and those who love him keep his ways. Those who fear the Lord do their best to please him, and those who love him will find satisfaction in the law. Those who fear the Lord keep their hearts prepared and humble themselves in his presence. Let us fall into the hands of the Lord, not into any human clutches. For as his majesty is, so too is his mercy. So this fear of the Lord, the beginning of our wisdom, understanding, through trusting in God, fearing in him, believing in him, and knowing that to serve God with an open, sincere, honest heart, and not being double-minded, wanting his laws to be written on our hearts, as Psalm 119, talking about that joy in God's law, to live pleasing to God, serving him, having his laws on our hearts always, seeking him diligently and lovingly, not for praise and reward, but because we love him, for he is our creator. So be sincere in that heart and stand steadfast. And seeing here that there will be hard times, there will be testing, there will be struggle, for the persecutor is there. The devil is as a roaring lion, pacing, waiting for whom he may devour. Put on your spiritual armor, stand steadfast, trusting and clinging to God in all things, knowing that there will be hardship, being patient as we go through it, for that is what will happen. Be prepared for hard times and endure, trusting God and overcome. Look at the hardship of Moses with the Pharaoh and the 10 plagues, and Pharaoh said, if I see your face again, I will kill you. What happened? Moses came back, told him another plague. Did Moses end up hiding? No. Did Pharaoh kill him? No. He followed God, knowing a man as powerful as Pharaoh, for Pharaoh was king. And a king telling you they will come kill you if they see you again. Think on that. Courage and faith in God, devotion to God. Look at David, all those years hiding from Saul, back and forth in the mountains as a bandit. He endured the hardship. He overcame. But even with Saul given into his hands, he did not harm him, for faithful love to God. Enduring, persevering, and look at the kingdom of David and all that he has done. And then look at Solomon, who sought for wisdom to judge God's people wisely and earnestly, in a way pleasing to God. He didn't ask for riches and wealth. God saw his heart, and he rewarded him thusly. Seek to serve God faithfully and be strong and wise. Excuse my cat. Apologies. What are you up to, Munchkin? God bless you. And then when we see about putting our trust in God, enduring and going through, for think of all the times of testing and hardship in life without God, and the change in our lives with God, the peace and the joy of his love and mercy upon us all. That we do not walk in two paths as a sinner, but as a lover of the Lord and his ways, serving ever faithfully and diligently, seeing the error of sin and turning from it through honest repentance. That change of mind is a change of actions. Living in a way pleasing to God. Look at all of these prophets, all of these people that walked in God's ways. Look at the testing of Joseph, where his brothers sold him, and then to the person he was sold to, he ended up in prison, accused of a crime he had not committed. That time in prison, think of the hardship, the woe of it, the persevering through it, and how it refined him. And it talks about refining gold. Think of our hearts as we grow in God, and how our hearts are refined to be ever more pure, ever more righteous, serving God, taking away these sins, the temptations, the desires that we know are not pleasing to God, the sins that we will overcome when we trust and believe in God every step of the way. This humbleness, this humility, this love and this devotion, not being prideful, not exalting ourselves above others, humbly seeking God at all turns in life, finding that peace in God. Just as Jesus said, "This peace I give to you, not as the world can give to you." Seek that peace, that joy, that love, that devotion. Live for the Lord, live pleasingly for him. Live as the light. You may glorify God, and others will glorify God too as they come to God also. Living in unison for the joy of the Lord. So these were the first 2 chapters of Ecclesiastes. I pray you find these helpful and understanding. I hope you can take something from this. God bless every one of you.